First of all, I would like to welcome all participants from USA and from India. Today, I have a great pleasure to share my knowledge with you on the topic of persons, Puggala in Buddhism. And here is my agenda for today, starting with classification of person in modern society and Buddhism. Then for classes of ordinary persons, Putuchana, Puggala, and then 10 fetters or Tassa Samyochana, then 8 classes of noble persons or Ariya Puggala. Finally, accomplishment of Ariya Puggala. So let's start. I will start with the classification of person in modern society, which is grouping of persons into hierarchical social categories, depending on educations, wealth, occupations, income, and belonging to particular subculture or social network. And this includes, firstly, upper class, which is very wealthy, well-born, and powerful class that own and control commercial or industrial revenues, guides politics. Secondly, middle class, which contain broad group of persons, including professional workers, small business owners, and low-level managers. Thirdly, lower class or working class. This class rely on low-paying job for their livings with very little economic security and experience poverty or poor. This class includes persons with unemployment. Classification of persons in Buddhism follow different approach. In Buddhism, person or Puggala refer to conscious body. Buddha developed complex approach of personality types and characters. The major concern was to identify different types of persons for instructive and spiritual purposes. In Abhidhamma Pitaka, Puggala is classified into 12 types, namely 4 types of Putuchana Puggala or ordinary persons, and 8 types of Ariya Puggala or noble persons. This classification was mainly based on ability of person to attain Nibbana. So the first question is, what is Putuchana Puggala? This is ordinary persons, which refer to worldly persons, one with worldly purposes, and has not entered Noble Eightfold Path, including lay persons, both Buddhist and non-Buddhist, and monastics, for example, Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni. Ordinary persons still remain mental defilements known as 10 fetters or Tassa Samyochana, with by being to rebirth and samsara. And I will explain this in more detail later on. Do you know that many star movies are Buddhist, including this one and this one, Richard Gere and Angelina Jolie? They are both Buddhists and are Putuchana Puggala. Classification of Putuchana Puggala depend on differences in Patisanti Citta or rebirth consciousness which give rise to 4 types of Putuchana Puggala. The first one is Tukati Ahetuka Puggala, include person born in sorrowful state of existence, so-called Apayapum. These are animals, hungry ghosts or Peta, demons or Asura, and hell beings. These Puggala do not possess any of 3 wholesome root, Kusala, Mula, consisting of Alopa, Atosa, and Amoha in their Patisanti Citta. Therefore, they are termed as Ahetuka or rootless. Secondly, Sukati Ahetuka Puggala, consisting of persons who have very weak Kusala Kamma and born with defects in human world or lower plane of Teva, so-called Jatu Maharachika, without any of 3 Kusala Mula in their Patisanti Citta. In the case of human beings, some persons are born blind, dumb, deaf, or idiotics. Some are born cripples. Some as conjoined twins, such as Siamese twins. In the case of Deva, some are born as celestial beings without power and worthy residence. They seek places for lodgings and survive on leftover thrown away or food offered by peoples. For example, Pumateva and Rukkateva. Third, Tavihetuka Puggala, consisting of human beings and Teva who have weak Kusala Kamma and born with only 2 Kusala Mula, Alopa and Atosa, without Amoha, which is inside knowledge. Both Ahetuka and Tavihetuka Puggala have weak Patisanti Citta and have no chance to attain Chana, Magga, and Phala in the present life, no matter how hard they try. However, Tavihetuka Puggala may become Tihetuka Puggala in next life as a result of following spiritual path and vigorous meditation effort in present life, and continue same habit in next life. So the fourth one is Tihetuka Puggala, include human beings and Teva who have strong Kusala Kammas and born with all 3 Kusala Mula. Such individuals are knowledgeable, intelligent, moral, and thoughtful. So they can achieve all Chana and can also attain Magga and Phala if they cultivate what we call 10 perfections or Dasa Parami and make continuous effort in calmness and insight meditations. So if they try hard enough, they may convert from state of Putuchana to Ariya in present life. Nowadays, we may find several Tihetuka Puggala in our society. Unfortunately, laziness and lack of discipline prevent them from becoming Ariya Puggala. The next question is, what are 10 fetters? Tassa Samyochana. These are 10 chains or bonds that confine one to rebirth process and samsara. They are obstacles for enlightenment, which are are gradually eradicated at one successively attained Four Noble Stage. And by breaking this bond, it leads to a reversible progress of Nibbana. Root cause of 10 fetters is craving, tanha, which is uncontrollable due to wrong views or mithya-tiththi. Therefore, elimination of mithya-tiththi is an essential step before one can start eliminating thassa samyochana. Ten fetters divided into two levels. Lower fetters or Orampakiya Samyochana, consisting of first, self-identity views, Sakaya Tiththi. Second, skeptical doubt, Vicikiccha. Third, attachment to rites and rituals, Silapata Paramasa. Fourth, sensual desires, Kama Raka. Fifth, ill will or Payabhat. And higher fetters, so-called Uttampakiya Samyochana, consisting of 6 desire for 5 material existence, Rupa Raka. 7 desire for immaterial existence, Arupa Raka. 8 conceit, Mana. 9 restlessness, Uttacca. And 10 ignorance, Avijja. Then I will explain in more details about each of 10 fetters, starting from the first fetter, which is self-identity views or Sakaya Tiththi. This is self-illusions, wrongly identifying one of 5 aggregates as individuals or personalities by claiming it as self, as soul, I, or me. And this misconception results in sufferings and existence in samsara. Sakaya Tiththi is responsible for development of various mental defilements, such as egoism, arrogance or pride, cravings, attachment, selfishness, ill will, and hate. Sakaya Tiththi is the basis for other fetters and need to be eliminated first on the path to liberations. The second fetter is skeptical doubt or Vicikiccha. It is distrustful or disbelieving thoughts when no answer or no advice could satisfy your suspicion on Buddha teachings. Vicikiccha is different from sincere doubt, which is genuine doubt or lack of clarity in seeking answer to inquiry and investigation about various aspects of Buddha teaching. So doubt has 2 categories: skeptical doubt and sincere doubt. There are 8 types of skeptical doubt according to Buddha teachings, including doubt about Buddha, doubt about Dhamma, doubt about Sangha, doubt about past, doubt about futures, doubt about both past and futures, doubt about Noble Eightfold Path, and then doubt about Paticca Samuppada. The third fetter is attachment to rites and rituals, Silapata Paramasa. This is mistaken view that attachment to rites and rituals is sufficient to bring about enlightenment, free from suffering, and escape from samsara. Silapata Paramasa is extensive belief and adherence to unreasonable religious ceremony without correct understanding of their meaning, their true meanings. In this case, rites are religious ceremonies with well structures and established acts. For example, Deva Puja with offerings, while rituals are symbolic actions that are performed during rites. For example, assurance for blissful life after death. Therefore, Noble Eightfold Path is the only way that leads to enlightenment. So, sincere Buddhists should give up spiritual path, to give up spiritual rites and rituals because they are irrelevant to liberation from rebirth. The fourth fetter is sensual desire or kama raka. This is desire for an attachment to pictureable sense object receiving through six sense organs. It is neither sense objects nor sense organs that are considered as fetters. Actually, it is desire or lust, so-called chanta raka, for present experience that is justified as fetters. For example, the passion of marriage or sexual affair, the passion of luxurious ornament. Kama raka is very strong fetters that keep being bound to samsara. The fifth fetter is ill will or payabhat or payapata. This is desire to strike out or attack at someone or something that is motivated by hostilities. Ill will includes several states of negative emotions, such as dislike, antagonisms, aggression, and hate towards others. If discarding or unwise attention, so-called ayoniso manasikan, is often given to any person or object, it will stimulate arising of ill will that has not yet arisen, and increase and strengthen ill will that has already arisen. The sixth fetter is desire for five material existence or rupa raka. This is desire to be born in five material Brahma worlds or rupa Brahma loka, consisting of 16 heavenly worlds among 31 planes of existence, with very blissful and extremely long life. Anyone who desires to be born there has to develop what we call five material mental absorptions or rupa jhana through concentrative meditation. And if one dies during this stage, it will lead to rebirth in five material worlds. By the way, whenever Dhamma potential that caused rebirth in this world is exhausted, Rupa Prom will die and be reborn in another plane of existence, depending on remaining Dhamma. So Rupa Prom is not eternal. The seventh fetter is desire for immaterial existence or arupa raka. This is designed to be reborn in immaterial Brahma worlds, arupa Brahma loka, consisting of 4 formless Brahma worlds, composing only mental state without physical body, as the name implies, arupa. Arupa Brahma enjoy very blissful and more extensive long life than that of Rupa Brahma. So if anyone decides to be born there, one needs to develop formless mental absorption or arupa jhana, through concentrated meditation. However, birth in arupa brahmaloka still be temporary and subject to change and rebirth, similar to that of rupa brahmaloka. The 8th fetter is conceit or mana. This is very elusive ego, in which one carries feeling of I am in relation to Sakaya Ditti. Consists is mental state of pride or arrogance due to abundance, more knowledge or achievement than others. It is different from Sakaya Ditti because those persons who attain first 3 noble states have completely eradicated Sakaya Ditti, but they still possess mana until they attain the final state of arahantship. The 9 fetters is restlessness or utthaja. It is mental restlessness, the mental factor that causes mind to recall or attain something else due to excitement. When receiving sense object through 6 sense door, they are either present or unpresent and lead to excitement, distraction, or agitation in mind. Then persistent utthaja can obstruct or delay spiritual progress. By the way, even anagami, who may have attained higher stage of jhana, still have traces of utthaja, which will become completely eliminated only when final noble state of arahantship is attained. The last one, the 10th fetter, is ignorance or avijja. This is unawareness or lack of knowledge or misunderstanding in terms of 4 noble truths, noble eightfold paths, and true nature of world. This is anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Avijja is different from delusion or moha. That is confusions, misperceptions, or wrong impression of ways that world works, which arise from ignorance or avijja. Avijja cannot be eliminated by book knowledge or reading religious textbook or document. It is main root of sufferings and continuing of rebirth. Ignorance can be removed only by cultivating panya, sammaญาณ and samma vimutti. Then come the important questions. How can we eradicate 10 fetters? 10 fetters are removed in Ariya Puggala by different methods. In the case of 5 lower fetters, Sakaya, Titti, Vichikiccha, and Silapata Paramasa, they are removed by Samadhi. Samma Titti and Samma Sankappa. Kama Raka and Payabhat are removed by Samma Samadhi and achievement of Rupa and Arupa Chana. In the case of 5 higher fetters, Rupa Raka, Arupa Raka, Mana, Uttacca, and Avijja, they are removed by Panya, Sammayana, and Samma Vimutti, as I have mentioned in the previous slide. I have referred to Ariya Puggala quite often in my previous explanations. The question is, what is Ariya Puggala or noble persons? Ariya Puggala is disciple of Buddha who have attained enlightenment, and those disciples who have gradually eradicated 10 fetters have entered Noble Eightfold Path and are working towards enlightenment. Ariya Puggala progressively eradicates other mental destruction as well. For example, 3 unwholesome rules, akusala mula, 4 cankers or mental pollutants, so-called asava, which is the renewals of mental defilements, and 7 underlying tendency, so-called anusaya, which is mental obsession with unwholesome karma forever in life. Importantly, Ariya Puggala had been Putuchana Puggala before cultivating spiritual path of liberation and convert from state of Putuchana to Ariya. They are different from each other in terms of elimination of 10 fetters, spiritual practice, and achievement. Ariya Puggala is recognized only by other Ariya Puggala who are at least in the same level. For example, Putuchana Puggala cannot recognize Ariya Puggala, or Sotapanna cannot recognize Sakatthakami, Anakami, and Arahant. If Ariya Puggala is in the higher order or the higher level, one can recognize other Ariya Puggala. For example, Arahant can recognize all Ariya Puggala. What are paths, Magga, and fruition, Phala? Ariya Puggala realized one of 8 noble noble stages, consisting of 4 supramundane paths, Magga, and 4 supramundane fruition, Phala. In this case, Magga refers to become free, the moment of entering into noble state, which is produced by institutional insight meditation, so-called vipassana. And Phala referred to has been free, the moment of consciousness which follow immediately after conclusion of path. Therefore, path consciousness or Magga Citta leads to fruition consciousness or Phala Citta. Ariya Puggala can be classified according to state of achievement in spiritual practice into first, path of stream entry, Sotapatti Magga. Second, fruition of stream entry, Sotapatti Phala. Third, path of one's return, Sakatthakami Makha. Fourth, fruition of one's return, Sakatthakami Phala. Fifth, path of non-return, Anakami Makha. Sixth, fruition of non-return, Anakami Phala. Seven, path of holiness, Arahata Makha. And eighth, fruition of holiness or Arahata Phala. So there are hierarchical state or status of Arya Bukkala depending on their achievement in spiritual practice. Then I will explain in detail the accomplishment of Arya Bukkala in a sequential manner. The first Arya Bukkala is stream enterers, Sotapanna. Through path of Sotapatti Makha and Sotapatti Phala, one will be free from first three fetters, which are cross being to be reborn in sensuous world or Kama Loka. This includes Sakaya Titi, Vichikiccha, and Silapata Paramasa. Sotapanna cannot eliminate entire akusala mula, but attenuate them and progressively become free from this evil mental state later on. Sotapanna cannot be reborn as animals, as ghosts, as demons, or hell beings, which are Tukati Ahetuka Puggala. There are three kinds of Sotapanna. Firstly, one with 7 rebirths at the maximum, so-called Satta Khatu Parama. In this case, after having reborn as Teva or human being for 7 times, put an end to sufferings. Secondly, one passing from one noble family to another, so-called Kolankola. In this case, after having reborn in noble family for 2 or 3 times, put an end to sufferings. Thirdly, one germinating only once more, so-called Eka Pishi. In this case, after having only one more rebirth to human existence, put an end to suffering. So Arya Bukkala, in the case of Sotapanna, are divided into 3 kinds. The second Arya Bukkala is one's returner, or Sakatthakami. Through path of Sakatthakami Makha and Phala, one is not only eliminate the first 3 fetters, but also markedly attenuate to subsequent fetters, namely Kama, Raka, and Payabhat. Sakatthakami also attenuate Moha, which arise from Avijja. Sakatthakami will have only one more rebirth as human or Teva, and will put an end to suffering, attaining enlightenment and Nibbana. The third Arya Bukkala is non-returner or Anakami. Through path of Anakami Makha and Phala, one is fully free from 5 lower fetters. Anakami does not return to human worlds. Instead, Anakami is reborn in 5 material worlds, so-called Suttavas, and attain enlightenment and Nibbana there. The fourth Arya Puggala is the Holy One or Arahant. Through path of Arhata, Magga, and Phala, one is further free from 5 higher fetters, namely Rupa Raka, Arupa Raka, Mana, Uddhacca, and Avijja. And by having eradicated all mental defilements, fully realized for noble truth and true nature of worlds, Arahant attained enlightenment and Nibbana with no further rebirth. So, at the end, it is summary of 4 stages of accomplishment for Arya Puggala. As you can see in the first column is different level of Arya Puggala from Sotapanna to Arahant. The second column is the abandoned fetters. And the third column is rebirth until entering, until suffering ends. So, at the summary, Sotapanna eradicate or eliminate the first three fetters, and they have up to rebirth for 7 times. Sakadagami eliminate the first 3 fetters, including decrease 4th and 5th fetters, and they have only 1 more rebirth. Anakami eliminate the first 5 fetters, and they have a rebirth in Suttavas. Finally, Arahant eliminate the whole 10 fetters, and they have no rebirth. So this is all for me to share with you in today's lectures. And finally, I would like to thank you for your attention. Sadhu, 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 anumodami.
Sadhu, 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 anumodami. Much merits to you, Surachai sir, for giving today's discourse. We will open up the forum for question and answer now.
Oh, yes.
You wanted to say something, sir?
No. So, I will allow questions from the audience or participants.
Yes, yeah. Please go ahead and raise your hand, and we will allow you to unmute yourself and ask your question. You can type it, put it in a chat window, whatever you prefer.
Or let me answer the questions from last week first. That's okay?
Okay, sir. Right, we can take the questions from last week. Yes.
Last week, there is a question about what should be the appropriate words or vocabulary for desire for Nibbana. And this is my answer. There are 4 factors of accomplishment, so-called Jatu Itipatha. And these factors are Cetasika and are mutually supportive of each other and lead to accomplishment of your goals. They are, firstly, Chanta, desire or wish to do. It is not greed. It is strong willpower to achieve your goals. Secondly, viriya, effort. Utilize strong, persistent, and unshakable effort to achieve your goals. Thirdly, citta, mind. Always be conscious and thoughtful of tasks in hand. And final goal at all times. The fourth one is vimamsa, investigation. Always look out for any faults or possible improvement in current effort. All these 4 factors will lead to your success or accomplishment in every kind of your work, including Dhamma. So, in the case of Shanta, which is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen, Shanta divided into 2 categories. If Shanta is accompanied by unwholesome root cause, Lopa, Atosa, and Amoha, then it's become akusala Shanta, and then lead to cravings and attachment. If Shanta is associated with wholesome root cause, unwholesome root cause is Tosa, Moha, and Lopa. In the case of wholesome root cause, they are Alopa, Atosa, and Amoha. Shanta will lead to what we call Kusala Shanta. This is recommended in Buddha teaching. Kusala Shanta is one of influencing factors, so-called forerunners, for development of Noble Eightfold Path. For example, if Bhikkhu has Kusala Shanta, it may be expected that he will be eager, will cultivate, and give a lot of attention and importance to Noble Eightfold Path. And finally, that Bhikkhu should attain enlightenment and Nibbana. So, Kusala Shanta is bad, but Kusala Shanta is good. So the answer for question in past week is that Shanta is an appropriate word to explain desire for Nibbana. Okay, let's start with another questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Surachai sir. Yes, that was a very nice explanation for the question we had last week. Thank you very much again. So we will open up the forum for question and answer that you have for this week. Please go ahead, raise your hand, and we'll allow you to unmute yourselves and ask your question. Okay, I see one question coming. Vikas, please go ahead.
Namaste, Bante ji. I want to know what is the noble family you have described earlier as a colon cola. What is it means? What does it mean?
You asked me what is noble family, right?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, Surachai here. One with the one passing from one noble family to another. Colon cola.
So the question is, what are noble family, right?
Yes, yeah. If you can elaborate a little more on colon cola and what do you mean by noble family?
In this case, noble family refer to, I think, is Ariya, the family of Ariya Puggala, or a wholesome family full of kusala dhamma. It may be, I think mostly they are human beings. Because in the case of Thewa, I don't think Thewa is concluded in these noble families. Just human beings, Ariya Puggala, human beings.
Thank you very much, Surachai sir. Did that help answer your question, Vikas? Do you have a follow-up?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions on the call? Please raise your hand and we'll allow you to unmute yourself so you can ask your question. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Namaste ji. I also want to know the difference between, as you have described in Iddipada, Mimamsa and Dhamma Vichaya. What is the difference between these two? Dhamma Vichaya is also recognizing Dhamma in pieces, or making it in pieces. And what is Mimamsa is, I want to clear clarity between these two.
So would you please repeat the question again?
Yeah, I will help you out, Surachai sir. So he wants to know the difference between Mimamsa and Dhamma Vichaya. They both are supposed to kind of piece or fragment the things and then try to understand. So what is the difference between these two? Mimamsa,
Dhamma Vichaya
Dhamma Vichaya,
and Vimamsa.
Mimamsa. Yes, yes.
Let me try to find the good answer. So Dhamma Vichaya is dealing with our vigorously studying Dhamma or Buddha teachings. You pay a lot of energies or viriya in that case to understand Buddha teachings. But in the case of Vimamsa, it's a way to improve your study by looking for defects and the possible improvement in the studying of Dhamma. So they're just quite different. But I think they are support for each other.
Thank you very much, sir. Does that help answer your question, Vikas sir? Do you have a follow-up?
Yes, I will study it more, and I have some preliminary satisfaction, but I will have to study it more.
Oh, that's good idea. I support you. I encourage you to study more.
Okay, are there any questions in the the meeting, please raise your hand. We will allow you to unmute and ask your question. Okay, so it looks like there aren't any questions or any more questions in the call. So if I have your permission, I have one announcement to make for next week. So for the last 4 weeks, Dr. Surachai Unchern was very kind and he covered various different topics in Buddhism and presented those topics with the slideshow and also taken a question answer. And he was very kind to go back and study more if he wanted to kind of if he wanted to give more clarity to any question or any answer. So we are very, very grateful to you, sir. And thank you very much for giving your time. Much merits to you for giving us these Dhamma discourses. Next week, we have Bhikkhuni Shakya Dhammadina. And so she's gonna give us a Dhamma talk next week. And so I just wanted to kind of mention that. The topic is very interesting as well. The topic is called the Bhikkhuni lineage. February 5th is going to be the full moon day of Magha, which is a special day for Bhikkhuni. And she will really emphasize as to what that importance is for Magha full moon day, Magha Purnima. For Bhikkhunis. So next week, please be sure to join, same time again. And the topic is Bhikkhuni lineage. Our speaker is going to be Bhikkhuni Shakya Dhammadina.
Okay. Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Can I join the meetings?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's in Sunday at the same time as this week, right?
Yes, sir. This would be at the same time. And
9 a.m. in Thailand.
9 a.m. in Thailand. Yes, sir. That's the time you have. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And can use the old link, the former link to the meeting, right?
Yes. I will share the meeting links with you, sir. I will also share the recording of the sessions we have done. They are available on YouTube at our
I'm looking forward to hear Ajay Dhammatina.
Dhammadina is going to be our teacher next week. So we are looking forward for that, and it's going to be a full moon day. So it's going to be very, very interesting to hear this topic too.
I think she will give a lecture in Hindi, right? Not English.
I believe that would be the case, sir, right? But you are welcome to join. We have, after that week, we are kind of going into a different monks are going to come and we will continue with our Dhamma study. And those lectures would be conducted in English. So we will share the link for you to join or get notifications for this one. It's going to be a WhatsApp group. So I know in Thailand they don't use WhatsApp, but it's kind of very popular to connect with people back in India. So that's where we used to communicate all these things. Again, sir, we wanted to make our gratitude known to you, sir, that we are very grateful for your time and efforts that you put in all these 4 weeks to cover very different topics every week, coming up with the presentation, and also taking up efforts, extra efforts to go back and read more to answer our question. We are grateful to you, sir. Much merits to you, Surachai, sir, for this Dhamma process. And I wanted to thank all the audience too. And we will see you again. We will see you again next week. Before that, we wanted to distribute our punya that we acquired listening to these Dhamma talks and being a very patient listener. We will do that. Ittavata cha ammehi sambadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambadam punya sampadam sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambadam punya sampadam sabbe sattha anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, 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 anumotami.
Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful to you again. And with that, we will conclude our today's session. We will see you again next week with another topic on the Bhikkhuni lineage by lecture delivered by Ayya Dhammadina. See you again until we meet.
The topic is Bhikkhuni lineage, right?
Lineage, yes, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's going to be on next Sunday, same time. Sunday, India, and Saturday evening in USA.
Okay, sure. I will join the meeting. Actually,
Until we meet again, Namo Buddhaya.